Hey y'all, it's Alicia and welcome back to Alicia's Crafty Hoplop. I am so excited, y'all. I'm so excited because this is my first design team share for InLoveArts. I told you all that I was approached by a group of individuals as a creative ambassador or design team member, and I turned a few down and I said yes to two, and one of them is InLoveArts. And I think many of you who've been with me for a long time will not be surprised why I said yes. I made a video maybe 6 months ago saying how very much I appreciated their honesty policy, that they had integrity as a company, that when they gave or worked with crafters, either as guest designers or on their design team, they encouraged them to be honest, to give honest reviews, that they wanted feedback from crafters to make their dies better. And they heard and they've invented all sorts of great new dies. So when they approached me, I was like, and they were like, do you think you're a good fit? And I'm like, I think I'm a great fit. And I was so excited. The other really nice thing I want to share with you is that what InLoveArts does that may be a little different than some of the other companies is they let the design team members choose. And I felt very grateful for that because on here, y'all, you know, we have vintage, we have shabby, we have clean crafting, we have Maggie Holmes All Heart. We have all sorts of makers who are in our crafty community. So one of my concerns about working with a company where they pick the dies or they pick the stamps is that they don't know you all very well, or at least as well as I do. And so I was worried that they would send things that none of us would really be interested in using. The nice thing about InLoveArts is that they were like, okay, Alicia, why don't you pick? That way you can choose a nice wide variety of things that you think will appeal to the people on your channel. And I was like, that's fantastic. I have to say, it was really hard to choose for this first package because there were so many great dies and stamps to choose from. And I was trying to think very consciously about making sure I was choosing something for everybody and that I could create projects that were in each of those styles to show you how the dies worked, if they cut well, how the stamps worked, if they stamped well. So in the end, these are the items I chose. I'm going to be making projects using them over the next week and sharing those with you. I hope that you like them. Normally, sometimes, or not normally, sometimes there's a discount code that vendors offer when we do these design team shares. One of the reasons right now that there isn't one for InLoveArts is that they're having a massive sale. And almost all their dies are on sale. Almost all their stamps are on sale. And they're having a huge clearance sale. And some of the prices, when I share them with you, are going to be mind-blowing because they are lower, far lower than you're going to anticipate, especially for a couple of them. I think you're going to be wowed. All right, so without further ado, let me share with you what I chose for this design team package. I'll show you the only stamp I chose. I only chose one. And I deliberately chose this one. And I am so pleased to report this one to you because I measured it and I was stunned. When I was looking at it online, I did not expect it to be quite this large. This is like those Prima Princess stamps. This is a very large stamp. The detail on it's beautiful. Look at the expression in the eyes. It actually ended up being a much nicer stamp. I was already excited about it, and then I got it and I was like, oh, this is an even better stamp than I was anticipating. I chose this one for a number of reasons. It clearly has like that cute but vintage aesthetic, but I also looked at it very carefully and thought you could use this for sunny days, right? We have summer crafting coming up, so I thought this was the best choice because bathing suits and bathing caps, or you could turn this into like a vintage hat stamp piece. It had a lot of versatility. You are going to be stunned when I tell you that these stamps are currently on sale for $2.15. Yep. I'm not kidding. I'm not. $2.15, folks. It's a great deal. They were originally $20 and they have been marked down. Now I'm going to season them. I'm going to make sure that I give them the workout that they need in order to be, it's only fair to test a stamp once you've properly seasoned it because they always stamp rough when you first get them. So that project will probably be, towards the end of this coming week because I want to have time for the stamp to cure so that when I actually use it for the project, it's being designed for, that it will work well and we'll be able to actually assess how it does. All right, the next piece I chose to get was this geometric background piece. And I chose this because of its versatility. So I felt this was a great pattern, whether you're a clean crafter, whether you are a vintage crafter, you're a shabby crafter, or you're a Maggie crafter, we all could use this. And if you're doing mixed media, this is also a fantastic die, like fantastic, because you can die cut it out and cut it and shred it, and it can become one of those lovely distressed pieces. But it can work with any crafting style. And so I thought this is great. The other reason I loved it is it fits perfectly on a standard card. So you don't have to do any adjusting. So you get that nice frame without having to do anything. It works perfectly for a small album. So I thought that was great. It also works great for boxes and cartons, like the standard boxes. So I was a big fan of this. Let me tell you how much this one is. This one is $4.58 currently. I told you all, the InLoveArts sale right now is fantastic. So that's all that is. And I'm very excited to use this in the projects. I'm going to be using it in a few things to show you how versatile a die it was. I'll be putting the links for these all down below. And when I do the project shares, I'll also be putting the links down below so that you can just connect right through. This was the surprise. So when I first saw this on InLoveArts, I didn't know it came with a nesting piece that you can make a shaker out of. I didn't know it came with these amazing book corners because it just appeared like it was a large lace doily. And I loved the design of it. It's one of the few that can be a square or it can be turned like this. This is a really versatile die. If you're a shabby or a vintage maker, I think this pattern is perfect. It can go on as an album piece. Especially now that we have this inside piece I wasn't counting on. This could make a great shaker for the front of a book. It could make it on a loaded bag, a loaded envelope. Oh my goodness. I started to think about all the possibilities because of these extra pieces I didn't count on getting. And I thought, oh, an album cover, a book cover, a shaped tag, an ornament for the holidays. Oh, I can keep going. I got really inspired. The other thing is this extra little piece is also great for any of you who do bookmaking because it makes a label center. So that's another use. And then it came with the book corner. And I thought, this is fantastic. So I was really, really shocked at the price point of this because this is what I would call, I've renamed it. I've called it a layered lace doily and frame set. Folks, this is $4.50 right now. That's all. And it is so worth it. Now, you know I am very particular about fussy dies because I struggled with them for almost a year. Now, I've gotten much better. I've learned some tricks with some wax paper and some shims. Didn't know much about shims 6 months ago. But even so, I'm going to test it without all that because I think it's important we give you like a quote-unquote normal review because not everybody has a shim. Not everybody knows how to use the wax paper. But I think it's going to cut out well, folks. I've examined it really carefully. Again, I own InLoveArts' large book die, their heart-shaped die. I own their miniature die. And I have told you all before, their dies cut cleanly. And they do stand behind their products. Like if there is ever a glitch with your die, it's likely a manufacturing error and they'll replace it. So I have had nothing but great success with their products. That's why I was so pleased to be their ambassador because I thought, you know what? I've only had a wonderful experience with their products and I love their philosophy and the way that they approach this. So how could this not be a good fit? But I think this is a steal at $4.50. I mean, you can make a shaker because it has the layering piece. You've got the book corners, which themselves are already a few dollars for a die. This is a bargain, folks. So if you're into vintage or shabby making, or you're a clean crafter, or a Maggie crafter who may make something shabby or vintage for a challenge, this is a great purchase. Moving right along, the next one is going to stun y'all. I told you, I picked these with you in mind. So I didn't pick thinking oh, what would Alicia like to have in her stash? Nope, it doesn't do you any good on this channel. If I only get the dies that I'm interested in, how does that help you? It doesn't. So I was like, okay, we're doing it. This was hard to choose because they have a few of these. But can y'all guess what it is? I know Donna Dreams is going to guess it right away. It is a small purse die. Now, it's called a mini, but actually I've seen minis on Ali and they're like ridiculously small and almost impossible to build unless you have great small dexterity like Jelly Bean. This, which they call a mini, is actually like a proper size purse and it's super cute. And the other reason I chose this one, and I love this about this die, is that they give you this piece, this filigree piece, because that way, if you're a vintage or a shabby maker, you have it to give it that element. But if you're a clean crafter or a Maggie crafter or an all heart crafter, then you just don't use this piece. And it comes out clean. So I am very excited. I'm going to actually make a couple of different ones to show you. I'm already excited because I can see that it's going to fold well. I can see by its design how they came up with it. I'm excited. And you guys know that one of my crafty aspirations was to learn to build better curtains this year, and curtain period. And this is on that list. So, all right. So how much was this one? Because it's not a super mini, but it's not the big one. Let me just take a look here. $5.87. So again, if this cuts like a dream, and I suspect it will just because I've examined it, great value. So we'll see what we think when I'm done with it. All right, the second last one I got from my All Heart Maggie Holmes makers and my clean crafters. So I have not seen this from anyone else in this size. You all see this size, right? So it's like 4 inches if you count the bottom tab. It's 3 if you count it from here. And I don't know if you guys will know right away what this is. There's a cool and a love one. So what these are, look at the size of them. None of that mini stuff that we've run into with other die companies. Nope, these are proper size pockets. Yes, folks, a proper 3-inch pocket. And this folds to close. So I had all sorts of ideas for these. While they are designed to be a pocket, I thought they would make an amazing tag where you could stick things in, like a loaded tag. I thought they also looked very much, and I'm playing around with this idea, like a Polaroid type image. And so you could do all sorts of fun things with that. Because they left the window, it can be a shaker. Oh, this has for me endless possibilities. And again, while I got it for my Maggie and my clean makers, the truth is on InLoveArts, they show it in a vintage shabby way. So this can be used by anybody, but for me, it just really screamed Maggie all heart makers. So I had to give this a try, and I can't wait to show you what I'm going to make with it. I saved the best for last, y'all. You know I did. All right, so many of us love making books or albums or mini albums, and we've been watching all the tutorials, and Lorraine Barton's been doing a great job. She made her first ever book, and Jess Janae, she makes beautiful books, and Donna and Soleil, and so many of us love making books on here. But there's also a lot of people who want very much to make a book or an album, but they're super intimidated. So I have to tell you, I own quite a few book dies. I don't own 5, but I own quite a few. And I even have a very complicated one that has the built-in slide binding. They're not the easiest dies to use. And so I was thinking, if, for new book makers, it's a shame that there isn't a more simplified book die. And then, guess what? InLoveArts released it this month, and I went gaga. And you're going to go gaga. If you want to make a book and you don't know how, this one, folks, it comes with 4 pieces. I love the scalloped one. Okay, so why is this so genius? They've done all the measuring. It's foolproof. For those of you who want to make a book, but you're unsure about the measuring, you don't think you can sew, this is the problem solver. You can use book rings. So this is what they've done that's so amazing. There's 4 different ones. So you can either make like a book. I love this design so much. Where you have the little tabs even. And you can like make a funky like note on here of like goodies, embellishments. So you could make this like an embellishment book, or photos, stickers, goodies, right? And then die cut out each page and join them together with either book rings or ribbon or thread, because all of the measuring is done for you. It's foolproof. It's absolutely foolproof. And I love that they also give you one scallop page. So if you want to make a whole album with a scallop page, then you use this one. You just cut out 6 of these. If you want to do a tabbed embelly book, then you cut out 4 or 5 of these. You can mix and match. They work together with the scallop, so you can do a 12-page book. All you have to do is die cut it out 12 times. It all works together. But the important part is that you can't make a mistake because they've done all the measuring for you. How amazing is that? And this one, you don't even need the edges because they've given them to you. I also can tell you that if you didn't want the tab on these ones, you could cut it so that you have different sizes for the book pages. This is the only time I've ever seen a foolproof book die. That is so easy. Basically, really, I mean, anyone could make a book. And think about how many more books we could make for each other with this kind of die. So I was very curious because I was like, how much is this going to be? Because this is a perfect die set for someone who wants to do bookmaking. And I was really surprised. This is currently on sale for $12.98. That's less than I paid for all of my book dies, except for the heart ones I got from this company, InLoveArts. All my other book dies were more than that. Isn't this amazing? And you get four different ones. Incredible. And all the measuring is done for you. Again, all you'd have to do is die cut, decorate, put in book rings or ribbon or whatever thing you want to do to thread through it, and it's finished. I'm amazed by this. This is by far, I cannot wait to test this out. I cannot wait to tell you how long it took me to make one of the books, because you all know how long it takes me to make a book. But this could be a game changer. So again, that's $12.98, cheaper than the other dies I've purchased like this. And none of them are foolproof like this with the measurements. I am just thrilled. So, y'all, that is my design team package for March 2020 from InLoveArts. And I am super excited now to work on projects this week that I'm going to come back and share with you. Now, I'm going to put the links for all these items down below. Again, they are having a massive sale. So this pricing may not be there forever. You know, for instance, those book dies are normally they're normally $25. So they're on right now for $12.98. The vintage stamp that I showed you, those two gorgeous girls, they're normally $20. They're now $2.15. So if you really loved something here, you may want to go and purchase it now while it's at this price point. Otherwise, wait till I come back with the project shares and I can give you a review of how the dies cut, how the stamps worked, and show you what I've made. But I will put a listing of all of them down below and a link to the InLoveArts shop. Thank you again to InLoveArts for trusting me, for being one of your design team members. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited to work with these dies, especially that new book die, but I'm thrilled to work with each and every piece I picked. And thank you for letting me pick dies that matter to our community. I really appreciate that too. All right, y'all, that is our very first design team package for InLoveArts. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it if there are dies you feel that other people in your community would like. I know that InLoveArts wouldn't mind that. And if you'd like to receive notifications on videos like this one, please hit the bell and subscribe to the channel. All right, y'all. Thank you so much again for watching, and happy Saturday to you. Bye for now.